Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Sharyu Varma Chopra and with me is Nishit Kumar with the evening news. The headlines. Centre urges states and UTs to strategize speedy implementation of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana for rapid urbanization. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with beneficiaries of COVID vaccination drive in Varanasi tomorrow through video conferencing. Consignments of COVID-19 vaccines from India reach Bangladesh and Nepal. In Pune, 5 perish in fire at Serum Institute of India. Authorities say vaccine stock is safe and production will continue. Indian Army and Society of Indian Defence Manufacturers sign MOU to boost the use of indigenous spare parts under Atmanirbhar Bharat. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. And now, the news. The Union Government has said that more than 1 crore 1 lakh houses have been approved under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, PMAYU, till date. The construction of more than 70 lakh houses is in various stages and more than 41 lakh houses have been completed. The Housing and Urban Affairs Ministry said the construction of 1,68,606 new houses have been approved in the 52nd meeting of the Central Sanctioning and Monitoring Committee under the scheme. The ministry said 14 states and union territories participated in this meeting. Speaking on the occasion, Secretary in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Durga Shankar Mishra, urged the states and UTs to strategize the expeditious implementation of PMAYU projects. He said, progress under the mission has been steady and there is a need to move towards completion of houses with all basic physical and social infrastructure in place. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with beneficiaries and vaccinators of the COVID vaccination drive in Varanasi tomorrow through video conferencing. The participants will share their first-hand experience of vaccination with the PM. The interaction follows continuous dialogue and discussion by the Prime Minister with scientists, political leaders, officials and other stakeholders to proactively ensure smooth conduct of the world's largest vaccination drive. Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Harshvardhan has said the COVID-19 vaccines are completely safe and effective and these vaccines will prove to be the last nail in the coffin of COVID-19 disease. While releasing the communication creative prepared by the Health and Family Welfare Ministry to address issues related to vaccine hesitancy, Dr. Harshvardhan said adverse events or side effects are common and they surface after any vaccination. He stressed that 2 indigenous vaccines have been authorized after sufficient scientific scrutiny, human trials and identifying the efficacy. He said several countries are approaching India to export these vaccines to their country. Urging the need to counter misinformation about the COVID-19 vaccines, the minister said vaccines have played a critical role in the past in controlling various diseases like chickenpox and polio. He said it is unfortunate that some people are spreading misinformation about the vaccine and this has developed vaccine hesitancy in a few people. He said the power of truth is unbeatable and with the help of this power, India successfully fought against the COVID-19 pandemic.
समाज में जो लोग वैक्सीन के खिलाफ भ्रांतियां, गलत जानकारियां और गलत फहमियां फैला रहे हैं, उनकी जानकारियों को हर तरीके से इग्नोर करके हमको सबको मिलकर वैक्सीन को अपनी और समाज की कोविड के खिलाफ बेहतर सुरक्षा के लिए इस्तेमाल करना जरूरी है। बड़े बड़े देश के डॉक्टरों ने वैक्सीन ली और उसके तुरंत बाद जाकर अपना काम करना शुरू कर दिया बिना किसी साइड इफेक्ट के। ये अपने आप में इस बात को प्रमाणित और पुष्टि करता है कि ये वैक्सीन पूरी तरह से सेफ और इफेक्टिव हैं।
The head of urology and renal transplant at Safdarjung Hospital, New Delhi, Dr. Anup Kumar, asked people not to pay attention to rumors. Talking to AIR News, Dr. Anup Kumar said he himself has taken the shot and he is feeling absolutely normal as there are no side effects of the vaccine.
I have received my first dose of vaccine against coronavirus. I am absolutely normal and had no side effect. Both vaccines made in India are absolutely safe and efficacious. Please don't listen to any rumors and don't have any doubt about safety of these vaccines. After receiving these vaccines, your chance of getting coronavirus infection will be reduced significantly. Let's work together and help Government of India in this battle against COVID-19. Whenever you get any call for vaccine, please go and get yourself vaccinated. Thank you.
The government today said that a total of 9,99,065 beneficiaries have been given COVID-19 vaccination in the country till now. Briefing media in New Delhi today, Additional Secretary in the Health Ministry, Manohar Agnani said 18,159 vaccine sessions have been held till today. He said today vaccination sessions were organized in 27 states and UTs, and up to 6 p.m. around 1,92,581 beneficiaries have been vaccinated. The Additional Secretary said today there was one hospitalization of a beneficiary who was vaccinated on the 16th of January and developed intracranial hemorrhage yesterday, and it is not related to vaccination.
Today, there was a case of one hospitalization who was vaccinated on 16th of January and developed intracranial hemorrhage on 20th January, is admitted in Geetanjali Medical College and Hospital, Udaipur, Rajasthan, and it is not related to vaccination and no death has been reported today.
Taking forward the initiative started by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in adopting a cooperative approach to fight the corona pandemic, India today handed over 2 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine to Bangladesh. The vaccine was handed over in Dhaka by the High Commissioner of India, Vikram Doraiswamy, to the Bangladesh Foreign Minister Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen and Health Minister Zahid Malik. More from our special correspondent in Dhaka.
The gift of 2 million doses of corona vaccine by India to Bangladesh symbolizes the deep and historic relations between the two countries. Handing over the vaccine gift, High Commissioner Vikram Doraiswamy said that the gift was part of the country's neighborhood first policy, under which India accords high priority to its relationship with Bangladesh. He said that the gift of 20 lakh doses of COVID Shield is in fact the biggest such dispatched by India to any of the neighboring countries. The High Commissioner said that in line with the discussions held during the virtual summit between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, India has delivered the vaccines within a week of the vaccines rollout in India.
This tranche of 2 million vaccines produced by the Serum Institute of India is part of our commitment as part of Neighbourhood First, as part of our commitment at the highest level between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Her Excellency Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to ensure that as we move forward in fighting coronavirus in each of our countries, we will do so together. Because together, India and Bangladesh, together in our neighbourhood, we will be able to fight the disease most effectively when we cooperate.
He added that the arrival of the vaccines is only the latest of many steps already taken by the two countries to combat COVID-19 together. It takes forward the initiative taken by Prime Minister Modi in March when he convened a meeting of SAARC leaders through video conferencing to have a cooperative approach to fight the pandemic. Following the meeting, the SAARC COVID-19 Emergency Fund was set up. Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, thanked the government and people of India for the vaccines. He said India stood by Bangladesh during the Liberation War and has again come with the gift of vaccines for the country. Rajesh Jha for AIR News, Dhaka.
A consignment containing 1.5 million doses of Covishield vaccines from India will reach Yangon tomorrow. Sources said Myanmar is one of the first countries to receive Indian government's gift of the Make in India Covishield vaccines manufactured by the Serum Institute of India. Myanmar is an important land and maritime neighbor of India with which India shares close historical, civilizational, cultural, religious, linguistic and ethnic ties.
India also sent 1 million doses of a COVID vaccine to Nepal as a gift under the Vaccine Maitri initiative. Nepal Health Minister Hridayesh Tripathi said the vaccine gifted by India will be given to health workers and other frontline personnel within a week to 10 days. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar confirmed on Twitter that Nepal has received the Indian vaccines. The minister said in another tweet, along with a photograph of the Air India flight that carried the consignments to Dhaka, "Touchdown in Dhaka." Vaccine Maitri reaffirms the highest priority accorded by India to relations with Bangladesh. Yesterday, India sent 150,000 doses of Covishield vaccine to Bhutan and 100,000 doses to the Maldives. In a major announcement, the Indian government said on Tuesday that it will send COVID-19 vaccines to Bhutan, Maldives, Bangladesh, Nepal, Myanmar and Seychelles from Wednesday, and supplies to Sri Lanka, Afghanistan and Mauritius will commence after confirmation of necessary regulatory clearances. India is one of the world's biggest drug makers, and an increasing number of countries have already approached it for procuring the coronavirus vaccine. The MEA said it will ensure that domestic manufacturers will have adequate stocks to meet domestic requirements while supplying the vaccine overseas. India had earlier supplied hydroxychloroquine, remdesivir and paracetamol tablets, as well as diagnostic kits, ventilators, masks, gloves and other medical supplies to a large number of countries to help them deal with the pandemic. The major fire that broke out at the Pune-based Serum Institute of India's building this afternoon has led to the death of 5 people. Pune Mayor Murlidhar Mohol said 4 people were evacuated from the building, but after the fire was brought under control, 5 bodies were found by Jawans. The 5 people who died were suspected to be workers at the under-construction building.
फायर में आज 5 लोगों की जाने गई है। ये बात भी क्लियर है कि यहाँ पे कुछ भी कोविशील्ड का स्टोरेज नहीं था, यहाँ पे कोविशील्ड का मैन्युफैक्चरिंग भी नहीं था। ये अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन बिल्डिंग थी जहाँ पे काम चल रहा था। यहाँ पे जिनकी डेथ हुई है शायद इसी बिल्डिंग में काम जो चल रहा था वहाँ के वर्कर है, ऐसा प्राथमिक अनुमान लगाया गया है। उससे ये लग रहा है आगे की जो जानकारी है वो हमें जल्दी मिल सकती है।
The fire, which broke out at 2:45 p.m. on the 4th and 5th floors of the SEZ3 building in the Serum Institute premises, was brought under control in 2 hours. A fire brigade official said the cause of the fire is yet to be ascertained. A National Disaster Response Force, NDRF team, also rushed to the spot. 15 fire tenders were pressed into action and the fire was brought under control around 4:30 p.m. Furniture, wiring and cabins were gutted, but no major machinery or instruments were stored in the floors where the fire broke out. Meanwhile, Serum Institute of India, SII Chief Adar Poonawalla, has expressed deep condolences over the loss of lives. SII, the world's largest vaccine manufacturer, is involved in the manufacturing of the COVID-19 vaccine Covishield, developed by Oxford University and AstraZeneca, which has been given emergency use authorization in India recently and is being used for inoculation in the country's mega vaccination drive. The building where the fire broke out is part of the under-construction site of the Serum facility and is 1 kilometer away from the Covishield manufacturing unit.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed anguish at the loss of lives due to an unfortunate fire at the Serum Institute of India. In his message, Mr. Modi said his thoughts are with the families of those who lost their lives. He hoped for the speedy recovery of those injured. Maharashtra's Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has directed the authorities to ascertain the cause of the blaze that erupted in a building under construction of vaccine manufacturing major Serum Institute of India's plant in Pune this afternoon. He also spoke to the CEO of SII about the incident, and he will visit the site of the incident tomorrow afternoon to take stock of the situation. Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar has directed an immediate investigation into the cause of the fire. Maharashtra Health Minister Rajesh Tope said the fire was caused due to a welding spark, while inflammable material aggravated the fire.
आज जो सीरम इंस्टीट्यूट है वहाँ पर मांजरी जो वहाँ का पुणे का जो एरिया है, आउटस्कर्ट्स ऑफ पुणे हम कहेंगे, वहाँ पर SEZ3 ये बिल्डिंग में आग लगी। करीबन 2 बजे ये आग लगी। वहाँ पर रोटा वायरस प्लांट इंस्टॉलेशन का काम शुरू था, जिसमें वेल्डिंग का काम शुरू था और उस वेल्डिंग के स्पार्क के वजह से वहां पर पूरा इंसुलेशन मटेरियल फैला हुआ था। तो इंसुलेशन मटेरियल ये सब इन्फ्लेमेबल होता है और इसीलिए वहां पर आग बहुत ज्यादा बड़े पैमाने पर लगी। इमीडिएटली महानगर पालिका से फायर के जो टैंकर्स होते हैं उसे बुलाया गया।
Mr. Tope further said that the Covishield vaccine storage is sited at a distance from the blaze and that it had not been harmed by the fire. The Manjeri facility situated on the outskirts of Pune is where the Covishield vaccine is produced. SII CEO Adar Poonawala assured the government and public that there will be no loss of Covishield production as multiple production buildings are kept in reserve to deal with such contingencies. The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has reached 96.75%. More than 19,000 COVID patients recovered during the last 24 hours. According to Health Ministry, the total number of recoveries has gone up to over 1,265,000. The actual caseload currently comprises only 1.81% of the total positive cases. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is 1,92,000. During the past 24 hours, 15,223 new cases were reported, taking the total number of positive cases to over 1,06 lakhs. The minister said currently India's case fatality rate is at 1.44%, which is one of the lowest globally. During the last 24 hours, 151 deaths were reported, taking the toll to 1,52,869. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Centre urges states and UTs to strategize speedy implementation of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana for rapid urbanization. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with beneficiaries of COVID vaccination drive in Varanasi tomorrow through video conferencing. Consignments of COVID-19 vaccines from India reach Bangladesh and Nepal. In Pune, 5 perish in fire at the Serum Institute of India. Authorities say vaccine stock is safe and production will continue. Indian Army and Society of Indian Defence Manufacturers sign MOU to boost the use of indigenous spare parts under Atmanirbhar Bharat. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
All India Radio presents World News. News and views from across the globe. What happened and what is up next? The newsmakers and the highlights of the day. From 10:30 to 11 p.m. every night on 100.1 FM, All India Radio.
An MOU was signed between the Indian Army and Society of Indian Defence Manufacturers today. It was signed on the occasion of 25 years of the Army-Industry Partnership with the Confederation of Indian Industry. Collaboration between the Indian Army and industry started in 1995 with the indigenization of spares and has progressed to major defence platforms and a wide range of weapons and equipment. The MOU has been signed to provide further impetus to indigenization under Atmanirbhar Bharat and to achieve strategic independence by reducing dependence on foreign origin equipment. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said that the government has started supplying COVID vaccines to neighbouring countries and the vaccines will be provided to other countries across the world if the need arises. Addressing NCC cadets at the NCC camp in New Delhi today, Mr. Singh said, "Our scientists have developed 2 COVID-19 vaccines and following the concept of world is family, India is extending help to other countries."
हम केवल भारत में यह वैक्सीनेशन का काम नहीं करेंगे बल्कि अपने पड़ोसी देशों को भी जहां जहां भी आवश्यकता पड़ रही है वहां पर हम वैक्सीन प्रोवाइड करने का काम कर रहे हैं। जरूरत पड़ी तो दुनिया के अन्य देशों को भी हम वैक्सीन प्रोवाइड करेंगे।
The Defence Minister said Prime Minister Narendra Modi has decided to expand the National Cadet Corps and the government has identified more than 1,100 schools wherein the NCC training will begin. He expressed satisfaction over the girls' participation in NCC increasing rapidly.
गर्ल्स कैडेट्स को भी मैं देख रहा था कि हमारे बॉय कैडेट्स उनके जिस तरीके से वो सामने आ रहे थे, जो चुस्ती दिखाई दे रही थी, वही चुस्ती हमारे गर्ल्स कैडेट्स में हमको दिखाई दी है। हमें खुशी है कि पहले एनसीसी में जहां पर केवल 28% गर्ल्स कैडेट्स थी, आज उनका परसेंटेज बढ़कर अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 33% हो गया है।
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today spoke to his Indonesian counterpart, General Prabowo Subianto. In a tweet, Mr. Singh said they had fruitful and substantive discussions on bilateral defence engagements. He said India is committed to enhance the defence engagements with Indonesia as part of the comprehensive strategic partnership. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu today called for upskilling the workforce in the textile and apparel sectors and adopting state-of-the-art technologies to gain competitiveness in exports to capture the global market. He said that though India has a strong base of raw material and skilled workforce, the country is lagging in global fabric exports because of the use of outdated technology and mostly smaller-sized firms. Launching the virtual platform of apparel products for the Apparel Export Promotion Council, AEPC, he said India cannot manufacture quality items and export at competitive prices unless the average size of the apparel firms grows and adopt the latest technologies. Coal Minister Prahlad Joshi today presented the Coal Minister's Award to 3 coal companies of Coal India Limited, Northern Coalfields Limited, Central Coalfields Limited and Western Coalfields Limited in a function held in New Delhi. The award has been instituted to promote best and sustainable practices for coal mining in the country. Mr. Joshi also launched Project Passion, the enterprise resource planning of Coal India Limited, which will help improve business performance and growth of the company with enhanced data integrity. Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, TRAI, has released the Indian Telecom Services Performance Indicator Report for the quarter ending 30th September 2020 today. The report provides a broad perspective of the telecom services in India. It presents the key parameters and growth trends of the telecom services as well as cable TV, DTH and radio broadcasting services in India for the period covering 1st July 2020 to 30th September 2020. It is compiled mainly on the basis of information furnished by the service providers. BJP National President Jagat Prakash Nadda reached Lucknow today on a 2-day visit to Uttar Pradesh. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and BJP State President Swatantra Dev Singh, along with many ministers and party workers, greeted Mr. Nadda on his arrival. According to the party's media in charge, Manish Dikshit, during this visit, Mr. Nadda will hold meetings with BJP office bearers and meet Uttar Pradesh ministers at the BJP office. BJP National President will address a conference of social media volunteers and intellectuals and also attend a meeting of party workers during the tour.
Senior BJP leader and party national spokesperson Syed Shahnawaz Hussain and Vikashsheel Insan Party VIP Chief Mukesh Sahni were elected unopposed today to the Bihar Legislative Council. Today was the last day of withdrawal of candidature. With this, the VIP has opened its account in Legislative Council. The 2 seats of the Legislative Council fell vacant after former Deputy Chief Minister Sushil Kumar Modi was elected to the Rajya Sabha and Vinod Narayan Jha to the Legislative Assembly. The opposition parties of West Bengal have asked the Election Commission to deploy central forces well in advance in the state to impart confidence among voters and to correct the erroneous voter list. Representatives of 10 recognized political parties met the full bench of the ECI who are on a visit to the state. After the meeting, the president of state unit of BJP, Dilip Ghosh, told reporters that they have asked the commission to take necessary steps to make the poll process free, fair and peaceful. He alleged that names of at least 5 lakh Rohingyas are included in the voter list, which needs to be dropped. The left and the Congress leaders also expressed their concern regarding the voter list and asked the Chief Election Commissioner to instruct the officials to rectify it. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has said that the Modi government will provide a home to every citizen of the country by August 2022. He was speaking after e-dedication of 1 kilometre-long railway overbridge at Shilaj in Ahmedabad today. Mr. Shah said that the government is undertaking the rural and urban housing projects in such a way that everyone will get home by 15th August 2022. He said that the Modi government has already provided 10 crore units of affordable housing. He said that more than 13 crore poor families were provided LPG gas cylinders under the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana. He said that the government has provided electricity to all villages in the country and now the focus is to provide drinking water to every household by 2022. The Home Minister said that the government has decided to convert more than 1 lakh railway crossings in the country into overbridges or underpasses. This project has been taken up with the state governments on the 50-50% cost-sharing basis. The members of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Transport, Tourism and Culture, who are on a 3-day visit to Jammu and Kashmir today, met several delegations. Besides the 31-member panel, Minister of State at the Prime Minister's Office, Dr. Jitendra Singh, and Member of Parliament from Srinagar, Dr. Farooq Abdullah, were also present during the meetings. The committee initially met a delegation of Kashmir Chambers of Commerce and Industry, KCCI, during which the issue of frequent closure of Jammu-Srinagar highway was brought to their notice. President KCCI, Muhammad Yasin Khan, later told the media that the chamber urged the committee to take immediate steps to make the highway an all-weather road. Puducherry Lieutenant Governor Dr. Kiran Bedi has constituted a search committee to select a suitable Vice-Chancellor for the Puducherry Technological University. A report from our Puducherry correspondent.
Lieutenant Governor Dr. Kiran Bedi, who is the Chancellor of the University, appointed Dr. Ram Gopal Rao, Director IIT Delhi as convener, and Dr. V. Jagdish Kumar, Professor IIT Madras and Secretary to Government of Puducherry, Higher and Technical Education, as members of the committee. The search committee is expected to submit its recommendations as early as possible. As per the act passed by the Legislative Assembly with the concurrence of the central government, the Puducherry Engineering College has become the Puducherry Technological University with the effect from 5th September 2020, and the Perundalaivar Kamarajar Institute of Engineering and Technology, Karaikal, the constituent institution of the university. Chandramohan, Air News, Puducherry.
Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank today inaugurated 2 newly constructed buildings of Kendriya Vidyalayas through video conferencing. Mr. Nishank virtually inaugurated the new buildings of Kendriya Vidyalay Betia in Bihar and Kendriya Vidyalay No. 4 Korba in Chhattisgarh. Addressing the audience virtually, the minister said that Kendriya Vidyalayas have become the hallmark of excellence in the country. He said that during the last 6 years, more than 150 new KVs have been opened in the country and their construction process is also going on at a steady pace. The National Girl Child Week is being observed from today till the 26th of this month. The National Girl Child Day is celebrated in India every year on 24th January to promote awareness of issues facing the girl child in India. And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital is likely to have dense fog. The temperature will hover between 7 and 20 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have clear skies. Minimum temperature will be around 17 degrees Celsius while the maximum at 31. Chennai will witness mist in the morning and a partly cloudy sky later. Temperatures varying between 23 and 30 degrees Celsius. In Kolkata, there will be fog in the morning and partly cloudy skies later. The city will observe minimum 14 degrees Celsius and a maximum of around 26. Srinagar will have light snow. Temperatures will hover between -4 and 8 degrees. Jammu will have mainly clear skies, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature will be around 7 degrees Celsius, while the maximum 18. Leh will have overcast skies. The minimum temperature will be around -10 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 1 degree. Gilgit will have generally cloudy skies. The temperature will hover between -6 and 11 degrees Celsius. Gilgit in Muzaffarabad will experience thunderstorm with rain, temperatures hovering between 4 and 16 degrees Celsius. Dehradun will observe minimum temperatures of around 6 degrees Celsius and a maximum of around 21. The city will have mainly clear skies. Chandigarh will have generally cloudy skies. The temperature is likely to hover between 9 and 20 degrees Celsius. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Centre urges states and UTs to strategize speedy implementation of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana for rapid urbanization. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with beneficiaries of COVID vaccination drive in Varanasi tomorrow through video conferencing. Consignments of COVID-19 vaccines from India reach Bangladesh and Nepal. In Pune, 5 perish in fire at Serum Institute of India. Authorities say vaccine stock is safe and production will continue. Indian Army and Society of Indian Defence Manufacturers sign MOU to boost the use of indigenous spare parts under Atmanirbhar Bharat. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.